Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is of course the Legendary Porpoise, and today we're building this really beautiful, awesome, random fantasy medieval home. It has no specific purpose, but I like it. So let's get on with the intro and move on to the video. Alright, so of course, just like the last video, I'm going to put the numbers up on here for you to be able to see the outline of the build. Of course, pause this part of the video if you want to construct it, and then we can get on moving. So what I'm going to do is essentially follow what I did in the first video. So we're going to be building everything here 4 high. Now that's including the outline that I've already placed, but it's going to go 4 high, and what we did is today I used stone cobblestone. Or stone brick cobblestone, I forgot the name, but either way, to do this whole outline here for the first floor. Now the reason I decided to do that is because this is actually based off of some inspiration, browsing Google images and things like that for really cool fantasy medieval builds, and this build is definitely something a little bit more unique, not necessarily just in shape, but also just the overall way it is designed. So what we're going to do is, once you go on the 4 high, we're going to do a little bit of a layout of whatever wood block you would like to use. Now I just decided to use oak. It looks really good and it works really well, and it wraps all the way around here on the right hand side until we get to that shorter point on the right hand side. So at this point it's pretty simple. We're going to go up, and we're going to go up 4 high all the way around, and this is yellow plaster and dirty yellow plaster or cobble plaster, something like that, but it looks really good with this build, and I love the accent of the yellow in there, and we're going to do a little bit of detailing you'll see shortly, but yeah, this is how it's looking, and you can see the interior shape is going to be a little bit different because we're going to have a little bit of a patio area right here. But if you follow along this guide, and it doesn't have to be perfect, you can always tweak this however you want, you'll come out with a really good shape. Now of course we're just gonna, like I said, go all the way 4 up all the way around the build until we get to the side. Now that smaller area on the right hand side, that is going to be a single story area, while the rest of the build is a 2-story area. So it gets a little confusing, but once again if you follow along, you're going to be great, and you're going to be able to build this very easily. So at this point what I did is I did a little bit of detailing. I threw in a little bit of diorite bricks or blocks, and threw them in there, and then added a little bit of yellow plaster towards the end to, once again, make it not look so dirty, have a little bit of clean, blocks in there, and blocks that didn't have a ton of texture, to kind of break it up and to still make it look good while not having it look completely broke down and old and nasty. So following that all the way around, what we'll do then is, when we're done with this, you can see here I added a little bit of that yellow plaster, and it looks really good. It adds to the build, being able to change those blocks around and things like that. And of course, working on some of the windows, put arches in the way. Some of them I left square. It's truly up to you on this build. You can do whatever you'd like. Now at this point, this is a little bit of a different technique, but I think it turned out really well. I used essentially a table block and I outlined the whole way, and at first I was like, it looks kind of funny, but it actually came out really great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have the roof, and I used spruce blocks because I just love spruce for roof. We're going to go one outside of the stair, so we're going to do a stair block, a full block, a vertical half slab, a full block, and a vertical half slab, and then we're going to have 2 blocks, full blocks up above that to have the actual roof, and you're going to repeat that on both sides. So stair, full block, vertical half slab, full block, vertical half slab, and then 2 full blocks meeting in the middle to create the center point. Now carrying on over here, we will follow the first story roof as well, and that way this can be taken care of. So what you're actually going to do is start off with a vertical half slab, then do a full block, a vertical half slab, a full block, a vertical half slab, and then a full block and one last vertical half slab. So instead of starting off with a stair, you start with the vertical half slab, and it gives it a little bit more of a different shape to it. And I didn't want the sides to overhang too much, so that's why I went with the vertical half slab. And once again, it gives it a little bit of height, so that single story part of the this build doesn't look very low to the ground and too ridiculous compared to the rest of it. So here's the part where it kind of gets a little funny. So you're gonna see I'm gonna do a fly around whenever we go into first person, but doing the roof outline, it's gonna have multiple different outlines in multiple different parts of the build, at least with the spruce, so you can kind of tell a definitive change of roof. But here you can see I kind of just had to tweak it and change some things around a little bit to make it work. This part is not going to be even. It's not going to meet evenly. It's not supposed to, but it still will work out very well. Then pretty much all you have to do is just keep on keeping on. And we're going to fill in the roof here, get that knocked out all the way around, and I'm not gonna show all of that, so we're gonna skip through, but you're just gonna fill in the roof all the way around, and there we have it. So pretty much once the roof is filled in, you're just gonna want to do a little bit of fine detailing. So what I did is I used some windows, I used some beams, I used some railings just to give some really good definition and character to this build, and I thought it came out really well. The beams you're gonna want to place between the windows and on every corner joint and everything like that, and you can place them however you want, but I kind of mix and matched them a little bit here to give the build some variety. And I used just normal old beam is what it's called on the second story, and you'll see, and then just shortly on the lower story, actually going to use a little bit of oak beams, which are a little bit darker, and they go really well against that stone cobblestone. So now we're going to do a little bit of railing just to give us some nice definition there, a little bit of character, a little bit of pop. And then at this point, just take some window panes or window blocks, whichever you want to do. What I decided to do is actually go with window panes and then use some oak railings to give it an outline. And I did that there, and then I also did some shutters, just some basic wooden Conquest Reforged shutters to add, once again, to the feel, the atmosphere, the theme of this build. And here we go with the oak beams, and we're gonna just kind of slap those all around there and all around the build at the bottom. Added a couple windows on that first story there. And then what we're going to do here is do just a little window. So a little part, an outcropping for the window. And I'm not very good at windows, so I kind of just winged it, and it came out okay, and I was alright with it. So I'm really happy about that. And I think it turned out okay for the most part, but just using normal glass blocks with some roofing. And what I decided to do towards the end here, and you'll see, is take some wooden trap doors to outline. So not just necessarily do those oak rails, but then also do some wooden trap doors on the outside of those railings, and it looks really cool. I don't know, I just like the way it looked. I like the way it felt. Once again, I'm not a professional windows when it comes to the roof windows, but I think it did a good job here, and I like the way it turned out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just finish this up and get on with the first person walkthrough right after we do these two chimneys. Now the chimneys are kind of more for show. They're not necessarily I guess functional. One of them is, the other one kind of I forgot about when I did the interior, so just ignore that when we go through the walkthrough. But what we're going to do is we're just going to get on with the first person walkthrough and move on. And here we go. Once again, we have the bakery here. I'm just kind of building this all in one area, but once again, I added a little bit of, a scenery here. And this is what it looks like, fully decorated, furnished, everything. And I think it looks really cool. I'm really proud of this house. I think it just looks phenomenal. So let me give you a kind of a brief run around. You can see here I added some shutters, put some vines and things like that. But you can see I decorating the back of the build just kind of had to experiment a little bit, add some windows, you know, add a little overhang here for hay or, you know, whatever. I mean, you could throw barrels, crates, whatever you want. I decided to do hay because this is something I feel like would have animals behind it. And you can see here the roof is crazy, right? So I just kind of winged it and just kind of made it my own. And you're going to have to do that with this build as well, in order to make that roof work and look the way you want it to. But I love the variation of blocks for the roof, making it look old and worn out. But when you first walk in, so this house, like I said, it's very oddly shaped, but I think it came out really, really well. So you can see here we have a small little dining area, small little table. You know, have some wine glasses, and everything. You have a small, almost like, not necessarily a bookshelf, but just a small place to put knickknacks. But I'm really most proud of the kitchen, and I think this looks really, really good. You can see I didn't really have a ton of space to work with, but I think it came out well. This family is very stocked, you know, has tons of food, tons of supplies just right here for them. And I feel like I did a very good job of making the space work, and I'm really proud of how it came out. I'm still working on my interiors. You know, they're still not as good as they could be, but I think I've made a lot of progress from, you know, if you go back to watching the original Avenberg videos to now, I think there's been a huge increase in interior building. But you can see when you go upstairs, and it's like, here's like a nice, like almost like just rest area, living room area kind of thing, and I love the way it came out. Now I decided not to do a ton of paintings and everything in this house. I didn't really want to distract from the layouts and how this house looks and feels, so I did very minimal paintings. I did very minimal decorations. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go out and look. See, here's the balcony here, the little, you know, area. Like I said, I like the way it came out. You could put, you know, a table, a little chair out there, just some basic furniture if you wanted to just, you know, grab some coffee in the morning and go out and sit out there and, you know, drink it a little bit and enjoy the morning. But this is the bedroom as well, and you can see it's 4 beds, so this is where the whole family would stay. And since there's only really 1 bedroom in this home, and I just like the way, like I said, I made use of the space, and I think it came out very, very well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go down. I mean, this was a very quick walkthrough. I didn't want to spend too much time on it, especially considering that it's not very huge. But I did see this, and I forgot to tell you, it's a cool little broom closet. I just like the way it came out. Just very kind of like tucked away, small little, you know, kind of nook and cranny type of room. But yeah, so one more walkthrough. This is the home. I mean, like I said, I really love the way it came out. I think it was really cool. You can see here the chimney actually used a pot and a balustrade and everything on there. And like I said, I think it came out really, really well. This is one more fly around, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, I mean, this is a very weird build. It was really actually difficult to make a tutorial on it, but either way, I think it turned out really great. Thank you everyone so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Y'all are amazing. I hope you're liking these singular builds. I plan to keep them up for just a little bit before I really start getting back to work on Elmoran. So anyways, this is the Legendary Porpoise signing off. I hope you have a great day and happy gaming.